Looks like it might work. It's been a minute. See if I still remember how to do this. Yeah. Okay. See if people show up. Maybe, maybe not. Chat settings. Okay. What's up, Lux? How you doing, man? Fish, how are you, buddy? Toxic Dylan, what up? Hold my beer. Sup? Yo. Minecrafter42091. Hello. How are you? First time chatter? I'm assuming you play some Minecraft. Corey! Woo! What's up, Corey? How you doing, man? I don't even know if I remember how to stream on this channel there, HD. Yeah. It's been a minute, huh? It has been a minute. We'll see if my eye ends up twitching today. New phone, who dis? What's up, SMG? How are you? Hope you're doing well. I thought, like, I thought I would set the mood a little bit. Maybe let a few people get in here while we set the mood. Let me see. I have something for us to kind of set the mood a little bit. Let me do this. Let's do this. What's up, Rusty? How you doing? No, I'm playing 8-bit. Yes, Hulk did pass today, Minecraft. I think most of us know that. Scopely was rather generous with it. What's up, Too Cool? Arcade, what up? Yeah, I don't do jazz. Got concerns, but you did read the AMA? We'll talk about the AMA. What's up, DJ? Yeah, that's pretty nice. I don't think there will be another one later. Think it's just me? What's up, Sensei? You still sweeping that leg? Also, we are getting Rip Miss starting Saturday. So more Evo tokens. What's up, Frey Guy? Good to hear, Sensei. I always love to see you, Sensei, by the way. What's up, Griff? Indeed. So that's pretty cool. Who got new Hogans out of this? Any of these new for you guys? Hall of Fame Hogan new for you? Congrats, HD. Nice, Fish. Very cool. Platinum Potato? Good deal. Right on, McMenemy. McMenemy and I have this weird kind of relationship, I would say. Wouldn't you say so, Mac? I'd call it a relationship, Mac. Where, like, somehow, in spite of all the odds, we like each other. And it's kind of weird and bizarre, but we do. Sometimes you can't always tell. As I call McMenemy out in videos because he always wants me to cascade, but can we get 8-bit Hakuna Matata? I probably will do that if we have to. HD. Just to remind everybody. Hall of Fame Hogan Noon, you got both gears already? Very nice, Hunter. Very nice. Yeah, it was yeah, he's got a great training ability. Hall of Fame Hogan, by the way. It was pretty cool that they sent it out. So they certainly is not something they even kind of have to do. But yeah. Real American seems fitting. I mean, we probably could do that. That was it's mental but beautiful indeed, McManamy. That's a good way of describing our relationship. How do you get it? You just log into the game. It's in your mail in the game. It's in your mail in the game. You might have to be a certain league. I have no idea. But yeah, it's in your mail in the game. Start the blog. What blog? Who said there was going to be a blog? I don't know if anyone said there's going to be a blog, but I mean, we're going to talk about hype. We're going to talk about the blog. And I will attempt to answer questions as best I can. Obviously, I don't know everything. I haven't seen anything, but let's like, what's the right way of describing it? I don't think I know a lot. I maybe know a little bit more, but not much more than what you guys do. But sometimes stuff can be wordy, confusing, and maybe difficult to figure out. So we can kind of talk about it and see what everyone thinks. Well, work on it, Rusty. And see where your concerns might be. If you have questions, I can try and answer them to the best of my ability. But yeah, we'll go from there. So, big picture is the question. Yeah, I did 7 pills yesterday. Got Scott Steiner Technician and some other good reality area new gen stars, which is good. Nice, Griff. Very nice. So, hype is going to be new. I think there's some stuff that we've read in the AMA that, or there's a bunch of different parts that maybe is a little bit telling if you read between the lines. So I think that's good. So first question is big picture. What makes hype different from past stat bumps? Dude, I don't have a weekend blog. So if you're waiting for the weekend blog, you can just head out. There won't be one. The weekend blog, when it's ready, is usually ready 2 hours later than this. I am doing a hype stream about hype and questions about the blog situation changing. So you can just chillax, pal. There you go. So, what makes hype different from past stat bumps? A, answer, 3 pillars. New stats you've never had, ring awareness, which is your turn order, aggression rating, which is your toughness rating, kick out, bonus, name still subject to change. Apparently there's a comma there and I didn't read it. Aggression rating and toughness rating, which is kick out bonus, and how hard you hit, I think. From what I understand. Hype affects every battle on day 1 and powers a future game mode we can't wait to show. Which that's pretty cool, the future game mode part. That has me pretty hyped, interestingly enough, to use that word. Room to grow, tiers, perks, and loadouts we can stack on. Today is Act 1, not the finale. So hype is going to be here next week. Yeah, so, I mean, honestly, weekend contest, blog, like, for whatever it's worth, say, I mean, since we're on this topic to start, there will be blogs, right? But I mean, weekend contest is always the same for every event, guys. The only thing that rotates is the CSS. You're going to have them or you're not going to, right? I mean, the prize wall is going to be what it's going to be. Knowing 12 hours earlier changes nothing. It is what it is. Yeah. It's 3 p.m. for me because I'm in Pacific Coast. So, but yeah, the weekend event is going to be like every other boss event. You're going to get very few amount of prize wall currency unless you spend. That's typical for boss. It's usually one of the harder ones to get prize wall currency. And it's probably going to require, if I had to guess, since it's Lady Boss, this is going to take a stab. This is not inside info, but let's look at the ladies. And I bet you there's going to be CSS for Becky. I think Becky is the new Becky is probably a good guess. There probably will be who's new and rare for ladies, guys. There'll probably be CSS for Naomi, if I had to guess. She's newer and rarer. Probably Mommy. Going off of other things we've seen this month, I would guess Mommy. I would guess EO, and I would guess Michelle McCool, and yeah, maybe Striker Naya. Those are probably going to be some of your CSS. You know, I think that's a pretty safe bet. You're going to end up getting to the gold chest. Unless you have a huge roster, then you get about 600,000 to a million farther if you got a big roster for free. If you got a small roster, you won't get to the gold chest. You'll get to the bronze or the silver. Weekend blog done. Go play boss, do your thing, have some fun. And for a laugh, Bella, there you go, McMenemy. Yeah. So, I mean, like, as pretty much every weekend blog, they're pretty much always the same. You know. But Bex, we're still one whatchamacallit away. We don't know the multiply buff, but Bex is gonna carry super hard because it's a focus striker. But we still don't know the multiply buff. I'm guessing it's either 100 or 200%, somewhere in between this and the 150. So, yeah. So Becky's going to be ridiculous, though. She'll be a hard carry. I'll do a boss prep video on that. You should, Bacchus. You should. I mean, so more importantly than the weekend contest, to me anyway, the weekend contests are all the same. Superstars, you know, come and go. They lose their flavor pretty quickly. I'm very interested in the new hype, personally. Free-to-play can absolutely reach top 1, 100%. My free-to-play has won every single showdown bracket he's been in, by the way. And Mherex has won 1 without spending, and finished 2nd without spending in another one, 3rd without spending in the other one. So you absolutely can win. I have friends that have won all 3 times free-to-play. It just depends on your bracket. So, what's up, Christopher? How are you? So yeah, honestly, Showdown, you're getting way more for less now than you ever were, though. It's much more friendly Showdown with the brackets than before. No, I had a much easier. Here, well, my bracket's been pretty easy. I haven't spent anything yet. This one is probably going to be worth spending to me, Zandel, for the simple reason I need to spend. Well, I'm in first apparently. I haven't spent yet. This is what my bracket looks like without spending. And I can tell you I've used some coin promoters during this, because as you can see, I get 5,000 medallions if I max this out, and it's probably worth spending a little bit for me to get 5,000 medallions, right? So, because I'm super close. Yeah, Clay, I can sort of relate. One showdown I did spend for, and we have a claim. I lost, and I was, at the end of it, I was like 58th globally, and I made up 2,000 points in the last 15 minutes, but I couldn't make up enough to win. I was short by like 100 or 200. Yeah, it all depends on your group. I had like 3 super hard groups in a row, so I was due for an easy one. So hopefully it stays that way. Either way, this one, I'm going to spend a little bit to get the 5,000 things. It all depends. It's luck of the draw in your brackets, so yeah. Yeah, I do, Zandel. I find this one worth it for the 5,000 currency, but in my case, I had every single CSS, right? I just got El Grande Americano today. Otherwise, it would have been 30,000 short. I mean, I miss unlimited Showdown energy for sure. Showdown has always been pretty big on strategy, though, to be honest. Yeah, if you're missing 3, probably not, Zandel. You're better off going Noto than coins, right? If you're missing 3, you probably have to spend a lot. Maybe. We'll see, Chrisaroo. Maybe. So anyway, back to hype. Yeah, so it's going to affect some stats. Okay, cool. Will hype matter outside PvP? Yep. You'll feel it in Feud, Showdown, Tours immediately, and it'll be critical to crack the upcoming mode. More to come. So there's a brand new mode coming. We know that. We don't know when. Maybe. So what is your secret for getting all those CSN? AK6. Taking advantage of the buffs, right? So I had my CSS all done before using any of the bonus energy. I had them done last night without doing any of the tours. So it really, if you go into Showdown, Plus, I mean, you also have to have them leveled up and stuff a little bit, right? But if you go into Showdown and you look at the buffs, right? Attitude Era gets 1000% gem damage to all buffs. Boss Man was super easy, just destroying botch gems with the 100% gem buff. Head Shrinkers had 150% damage buff. This works like a buff too, by the way, like a boss buff. So like Head Shrinkers, I was doing like at 6-star bronze, I was doing like 60 million, 50 million a cycle with the Head Shrinkers. New Gen gets 6 starting MP, so they also get, you know, MP boost, so that made it super easy, right? So just take advantage of those. From the rest of them, it's pretty easy. Hall of Fame DDP, I finished in 1 match or 2 matches, I think, because it doesn't stop. Why is your voice so sweet? And when I've done face reveals before, I just don't usually use a cam because the wife doesn't like it. But yeah, I think I generally don't have an annoying voice, which is good. I try not to be super annoying. That's my goal with being a streamer. It's not to be good. It's just to be not annoying. So DDP was mostly power gem trainers. So if you have Ray, etc. Anvil was the worst by far, but again, just move damage setup with Sheik Plate. Because of the gem buff, Taker was super easy. My 6-star silver did 100 million with triple purple, right? So he was a couple matches. Viscera couldn't be easier. So yeah, I mean, really, and then these all take care of themselves in the course of doing this, so you don't even worry about these. You just do these, and it takes care of those. I guess it's more about just winning with the characters you have in the easiest way. Oh, I'm sorry, David. Indeed, Hot Daddy J. Rip indeed. Focus Bro hype. Yes, right. Hype. So, stats by mode. Which stat is king where? A, off the bat, all stats will matter, and all superstars will have the same, this is important, the same hype stats at each hype level. So what that means, guys, for everyone panicking that you won't go first, if I have hype level 1, and you have hype level 1, and I'm on offense, I will still go first. Okay? So, but if you have hype level 2 and I have hype level 1, then you're going first, even if I am on offense. So I think that is very important distinguishment. That is something that I don't know that we knew before today, really. Everyone is, the hype stats are all going to be the same, at least to start, as far as we know, right? But you should be on the lookout for certain scenarios, it says. The best way to stay one step ahead of your opponent is to stay, here's what I was just saying, 1 or more hype levels ahead. When your opponents have the same hype level, most stats will basically cancel each other out, but look out for class advantages which boost hype stats. So as I understand it, and this may be slight inside info, I don't know, but the hype stats will affect everything, meaning it affects your move damage, your gem damage, your health. I think your health, question mark? No, maybe not health. I don't think it affects health. But it also, I think, affects your special gems, too. So hype can improve your special gems. It definitely will affect your combo moves. So, for example, and your hardcores. So, as we know, a lot of times hardcore moves are very strong to begin with. I don't know if it's necessarily spenders. I've expressed that concern in general, Clay. The way I understand it, it's going to be very friendly in general to get them. Will spenders have more hype than non-spenders? I imagine they will. But I think it also is going to depend on what you do with the hype you have, for example. So we can talk about that in a second. Mherex, important things. My day has been great. How has yours been, man? I hope yours has been well. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. So, the way I see it, Clay, I think there's going to be a lot more strategy in who you hype up, right? Because obviously you don't want to go into it down a hype level. I mean, Uh, so Clay, what happens when a new star level comes out? For example, when we got 6-star gold, what happened? The spenders had the most 6-star golds right away. What happens when 5-star silver came out? The spenders had the most 6-star silvers right away. When bronze came out, the spenders had the most 6-star bronze right away. It'll be exactly the same sort of thing. Maybe it'll be less bad. I think it'll probably be less bad, to be honest, because you're going to control where they go. Yeah, metals, the spenders got them quicker. That's always the case. The problem won't necessarily be that. The problem will be if you spread your hype out too far without the resources to do it. I think focusing down on where you use your hype. Also, we still don't know what it's going to look like, right? We don't know what it's going to look like in game. We don't know how much it's going to cost. We don't know how hard it's going to be to acquire. What we do know, and what I can tell you, is that there is 2 separate kinds. There's regular hype and wildcard hype, or the names are still subject to change. So the wildcard hype, as I understand it, is able to be used on anyone within that class. So like you get powerhouse hype points, you can use it on any powerhouse. It's like a universal powerhouse currency. The other hype, as I understand it, you'll have to get hype for the specific superstar you're after. Also, I was told you won't be able to get hype for superstars you don't have, so it'll always be useful. So these are things that should help on a smaller account. In fact, I would argue potentially a smaller account that might be more useful. If you can only get hype of characters you have, you'll be able to get potentially more hype. That should help even it out the way I look at it. So no, they're not something you pass around. Correct. They're points you spend on that character, hype points. I'm kind of looking at it similar to shards, but hype stuff. So, like, you'll have to get hype points for Swoggle if you want to hype up Swoggle, or you'll have to get Trickster wildcard points, and then you can use those on Swoggle as well. Luckily, it's per class and not something silly like the style thing. So, yeah. So I don't hate that. Oh, I get completely. Only pushback would be even when facing a higher superstar level. You can build a as you go first. Not going first is going to be. I mean, yeah. So that's true, Clay. But the other thing that is with this, you can start earning hype at level 5, right? So let's say, for example, let me pull up my free to play real quick. This will be a great example, I think. And we don't know. I think that will offer more strategy. So say, for example, right? Let's take this for example. Hey Scott, how you doing, buddy? If I miss something, guys, there's a lot of chat, so forgive me. I will try and get to it. Just ask again, comment again, right? So, let me switch this. 1 second. Window capture. All right. So let's say I start earning, I have on my free to play 188 superstars, right? If I can only get hype for superstars I have, that's going to help combat the fact that my free to play isn't a spender or doesn't have a big account. Furthermore, I can really drill in and say, you know what? Mellow's my best guy, so all my showboat hype's going here, right? Yeah, for sure. That's always the case, Clay. But this is the way I'm looking at it before seeing it. So I'll put my hype into Mellow, and I should theoretically be able to get his hype levels up in a decent amount of time, right? Theoretically, we don't know. And then that'll just make the difference anyway, right? Where he'll go first, for example. I do get your point about some like stun builds, like Boss Man, for example, where I can stun lock with him, or Rick Steiner. If I can't go first, then I can't probably win at all with those guys. So that's a viable concern. We'll see if it outweighs it. Also, like, I think, yeah, I just think in general, I feel like they're accurate when they kind of said this is Act 1, not the finale. I think there's going to be a lot of building on this And I think they're actually, from the sounds of it, they're going into it slow. Sounds similar to Boss Breaker. Yeah, kind of similar to Boss Breaker, but it doesn't sound like the currency is going to be that hard to get compared to Boss. But yeah, as far as I know, no. I don't know for sure, Slim, on that one. That's a good question. Are they tying available hype? You should put that in the AMA thing, Slim. As in, tier C hype will be easier to obtain than tier Fs. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's going to be equal chance, but I don't know that that's the case. So that's a great question. That's something I don't even kind of know. I think that's a really, really good question, though. It would be cool if it was. Here's the other thing I was going to get at. So if they look at the two accounts, I have 188 superstars on this one, and on my other one, I have 647. I feel like I'm going to have to really focus on hype and not just hype anyone willy-nilly. And then what happens if you will get someone to max hype level? I think I'll be less inclined to want to use the new shiny toy, right? Because then I'll have to get them to a high enough hype level where they can compete against people with high hype levels. So I think that in a lot of ways might benefit or might help bridge the gap between the free to play and spend aspect, right? Because once you've invested in someone and you got their speed up, you can just literally target. Let's say you go into feud, right? Oh, thanks, funny guy Paul. 2 years off, brought up to speed, getting your butt stomped. Yeah, 2 years off would do that. The power creep in the last year in particular has been crazy. In particular plates. So yeah, I think a lot of it's just going to be focusing on your hype and then, you know, let's say you go into feud and you got hype level 3. You're just looking for people at lower level hype so you can go first and hit harder, right? But the fact that the hype is also going to work on the hardcore moves will mean those hardcores will hit like really hard, right? So that should be an even bigger advantage for the hardcore moves if the hype is hyping that even more. So that could make that really interesting as well. Okay. Where are we at on this? What were we talking about? Yeah, so when your opponent has the higher hype level than you, look for class advantage to boost your stats and punch up. Makes sense. No, I don't think they'll necessarily slow down new releases. I don't think so. What's up, Steven Randall? How are you, bud? I don't think they'll slow down new releases, personally. Okay, here's progression and grind. How grindy is hype? Early tiers unlock as soon as League 5. Casual, friendly. Maxing every superstar will take commitment, but you pick who gets the juice. Okay? Free-to-play balance, this we talked about a little bit. Is this pay to win? Hype is for everyone. Early tiers unlock at League 5 via play, so every roster can tap in. Any superstar at any talent can increase their hype level. You don't need to be at 6-star gold to enjoy these new stats. Spenders, power players, might reach higher tiers sooner, but class advantage, and this is kind of what we were talking about actually, class advantage, smart roster building, and grind paths let all players punch up. A forthcoming daily mode drops hype mats on a predictable cadence, giving free-to-play grinders a steady lane to keep pace. End result, spend sets your speed, not your ceiling. Which I don't have a problem with, and I've said this often, pay to speed up is fine, pay to win I don't really appreciate. You know what I mean? So if it's pay to speed up a little bit, whatever, that's cool. I don't have an issue with it compared to a lot of the other stuff we end up having, so yeah. No, Frey all hype's the same, you put points into it. I don't think so, Rusty. I think in general, the longer you are at the top, the harder it gets, right? So I mean, my time in Champions has shown me that whoever's at the top of the game won't be there forever. It's always rotating. So I know you're being funny with that, But in all seriousness, they won't be on top forever. That's just the way it goes. You see Trick Macho and Striker Austin up there? What don't you know? Dude, Striker Austin, they gave him so much stuff. He's a freak of nature, man. He's a 2-click monster. So it's character specific, and then the universal stuff is class specific. Does that answer your question, Chris? It doesn't seem to be gender specific in any way that I know of. I could be wrong. There you go, Rusty. Yeah, they reworked Austin, but then they gave him like 15 moments. That's only a slight exaggeration. And he got another gear, right? So like now he's got like an extra gear. It adds 100% yellow gem damage when you get them all. I got 3 of the 5 moments for him. This adds 100% gem damage. This adds 200% yellow gem damage. And this one adds 25% gem damage, 150% leech gem damage. And then they added anniversary plate, make 8 leech gems, make 8 random into multiply gem strength 8, and then a universal 200% gem damage when you make leeches. Long story short, he hits bonkers hard. Yeah, 2 less moments than Tiffany. So yeah, he's ridiculous now. And it won't actually show his damage. But each of these are, what is that, 5 million on the multiplies? Is that what that says? And the leeches are 700k a piece. It ends up being a metric crap ton. That's really all you need to know. Plus the leech damage itself is around 20 million. I mean, it zeroes people at 100 million health, so, and it's super fast and easy. So yeah, Striker Austin's legit. Macho Man, they reworked, and with they made new plates. That's what I was talking about, plates. Yeet drip combo, it makes multiplies, and the Yeet plate adds 500% gem damage. So basically, Macho just hits for like 110 million in 3 moves and stuff. Yeah, a lot of power creep, man. A lot of power creep. Some reworks. Powerhouse Hogan hits ridiculously hard. So yeah. I would assume, I mean, spenders always have everything faster, so I would assume they will have more hype characters just by nature of spending, right? But whatever, it's no different than anything else. So that's, if anything, it seemed like on paper to me, it seems more likely to be more even than the other stuff, but who knows? Because it has a ceiling, right? Eventually you max the hype level out and you can't go higher. So once the spenders max their hype level out on that character, at best they get the same advantage as you, right? No. This is the official channel. You don't need to send bits anyway, dude. Even if it was my channel. This is the official champions channel, not mine. Happy to answer questions and stuff, but so respecs and custom builds, can we respec later? Really, there's no reason to respec right now. And here they say it because there's nothing to respec yet, because all the hype is the same. For now, hype points can't be used directly into individual stats. They just increase the superstar's overall hype level. So pretty straightforward. Yeah, there's gonna be a daily mode, HD. That's a new mode in development, and we don't know when. So, what question do I still have about hype? My biggest question is for gameplay flow. Is where are you going to see what hype level the opponent has? It needs to be in the pre-match screen. If I have to drill into a menu every time to see someone's hype level, I'm going to want to throw things. Right? Because we have to dig and dive in too many menus. So, yeah. All right. Roadmap tease. What's next for hype? Stat gated tours with bonus paths. I'm assuming that stat gated means hype gated. Deeper build customization, offense versus utility, anyone? Full integration into that daily boss mode. So apparently the hype stats are going to be required to complete the daily boss mode. From what I understand, it'll be required because of the challenge of it. It's going to be difficult HD. So that's why you're going to need those hype stats. Or you won't be able to get through it, I think. I don't know if that helps. Go ahead and ask your question. That's about what I know about the daily boss tour. As far as anything I can say. Yeah. Stay tuned for dev diaries with the juicy details. Okay. So this one I don't really necessarily understand. Quick hitters. Overpower comparison. Different DNA, gradual, balanced, early unlock. I don't really understand what that means. Health pack burn. I don't really understand what that one means. More tweaks coming. I really don't get that one. Affects current tokens fuses. Nope. Your existing progress stays intact. So that's good. I mean, that's probably good news, right, guys? If it was 7-star, we'd all need to find more shards to Evo people. So the fact that we don't need to find more shards it probably would have went up too, to Evo people. I find that quite nice, actually. Taking out feud matches? No, I don't think so. That's fair, IK, that's fair. Honestly, this doesn't sound very complicated at all to me, Nightmare. It basically, you just level up hype, and if your hype level's higher, you're going to go first, and if it's the same, everything is the same as it was before. I don't think anyone's going to hit less hard than they do now, Chris. Although, if you're a lower hype and then go against a higher hype, I do think you will hit less hard. Maybe? Question mark? I don't know. Right? I don't know how that'll work. It seems like it's designed to... I don't know. That's a fair question, but I don't really know for sure. How are you, Noah? Hope you're doing well. What else? Wildcard hype for limited superstars? Yes. So you'll be able to hype up those one-time superstars no longer in the game. So that's great. Surprise round? I don't know if this is something that was shared in the other AMA or not. So I'll scroll down and see what's here. Can every superstar get hyped? Yes, you can. Will we unlock new superstars through hype tours? That's the plan. Think milestone-style challenges that drop fresh faces. That's actually kind of cool. Absolutely. So bigger risk, bigger rewards. Right here. Tougher fights will come with loot that feels worth the grind. More on that when we reveal a new daily mode. Okay. And then the last one. Can I swap movesets or stat colors? Not with hype. That tech lives in a separate wishlist item. Okay. So I think that's most of the hype stuff. In the feud matchmaking, no. Yeah, hype drops next week. It's next week. I think so too, Chrisaroo. That's my reading of it too. It won't play a part in feud matchmaking, no. Yeah, feud matchmaking is based on you and your partner's combined talent. If you weren't aware. Yeah, hype is next week. I've taken this week kind of slow, didn't make very many videos so far this week. I'm kind of just chilling. Arquills, I'm doing well. How are you, man? Good to see you. I'm chilling this week because I feel like next week is going to be Content City. Nope, we're not going to see it demoed as far as I know before it arrives, but who knows what they have up their sleeves. They may show us more. So there's that. So really, my goal here is to address any concerns you guys might have with hype. I was just asking. I don't know if there is. Oh yeah. If you go to your mail, it was sent out to everyone. At least as far as I know, everyone. I don't know if there's a league requirement for it. Maybe. Uh, I don't. I hope not, Kitty Corn. That's. I mean, potentially it's always a do. As far as I know, it doesn't impact coaching or training at all, Chrisaru. Just fighting. That would be cool if it did. Man, I'll tell you what. If it impacted coach abilities, whoo, you better believe I'd be on top of that. Correct, Frigga. That's the way I hear it too. No. Why would be going first be pay to play? Uh, Equal hype level. Whoever's on offense still goes first. So when you're max, it's everything is still the same. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does not work on trainers. I can't swear to that, but pretty sure. Yeah, it is McMenemy. Yeah, so bug. It the way I see it, and this could be wrong, um, on a spender account, right? And maybe you missed this. I was talking about this earlier. You might not have been here. But like you have every character in the game just about, right, Bug? So you're gonna be sitting there like, who the heck do I hype? I have 100 superstars potentially that are crazy good. So you're gonna try and focus first on your like your best, like everybody else, and you might get the higher hype a little bit sooner than a non-spender. But at the same time, once your hype is capped, you guys are on an even playing field. So say for now, for example, guys, and this is a better way of looking at it. Uh, every time a new character comes out, spender gets it, and they have the resources to level it every time. So they always have the best, the newest, and that. Hype has a ceiling. Once you hype a character to max, it's not going anywhere. So I feel like if anything, that gives you more time to catch up. Yeah, exactly, Bug. Minor race to hype. That's how I see it. I'm not, to me, it's not something I'm gonna worry about. Just and I also I've never bought tokens early. And I've spent a lot on this game, but I've never bought tokens early. I just get my evolves when I get them. I didn't buy medals early. I just got them when I got them. You know what I mean? In hype, I'll do the same thing. Because if it's tough for a month or two, yeah, whatever. What's the big deal? Eventually, I'll get there. As far as the other end of it, I think for if you're not a spender and you're a smart non-spender, I think this will really, really benefit you. It's next week, so I'm assuming it'll be before Flash Feud. I don't know why it would matter. Really. I don't know that there's going to be enough currency to level an entire feud roster is the week it comes out. You know what I mean, Kitty Corn? I feel like it's not going to be like somebody's going to have all these hype levels. You're fine, McMenemy. To start. I don't know that that's true, but like I think a lot of the stuff I get it because it's fear of the unknown, right? That's what all of it is. We at the end of the day, we just don't completely know, right? It could be anything. That to me is the more worries. So, this is how I look at it. I mean, if you can buy unlimited hype day one, why do I care? Go ahead and fund the game for me, right? I don't care. Go fund the game for me. You know the odds. First off, to address feud, you know the odds of you guys, if you're not a spender, running into a whale. The only way you do that is if you run a huge feud roster. Whales don't run small feud rosters. So just stop filling every slot and you're fine. Like, it's really easy. My freaking free to play almost never loses, and he's got a trash roster. I mean, like, for real. I got to the 350 million mark feuding, and I don't have anything higher than a 6-star bronze. You just got to run a roster that fits. Yeah, like bugs running into the same 20 or 30 whales, right? Uh, yes, they're still blogs. Blogs are changing. That's the next thing we're going to cover. Blogs are changing and all kinds of stuff is changing. So, yeah. Correct, HD. So here's the other thing. Feud is actually way easier than Showdown. Feud you have all the time in the world. And the your feud score after a certain point doesn't really impact what's there is to get for you from the event. Showdown, you don't have the opportunity to make mistakes. There's a finite amount of energy. So HD, I can tell you I will focus on my Showdown people first for hype, because it's going to be way more important than feud. You can work around going second in feud, just use MP down trainers. You know what I mean? If I have to do it, I'll do it. I don't want to. I can use a sub trainer if I have to, but I'll just use MP down coaches and stuff. But yeah, I think the strengthening your Showdown with hype first. Can you imagine going second in Showdown? That's way worse than going second in feud. Especially with the boosts you see in Showdown, right? You get like the Hall of Fame tag link boosts. You get people with like 10 MP up. You have, you know what I mean? Like it just, and they set their best defense. So you run into people with MP gear and you just can't get by them. Yeah, I think for sure Showdown, it feels more impactful to me than feud out the gate. But maybe that's just my mindset. Um, Generally in feud, most of the time, I feel like you control your own destiny as far as just set a roster with the size you can handle. If it's still too big, go smaller. And that's always worked for me, and including on the free to play. If it doesn't work for you, then I don't really know, because that's always been my game experience, whether paid or not paid. I can tell you my big account Mherex, he doesn't run nearly as, like, I have a 15.3 million roster. Most people with that size roster probably run 300 to 320k. I typically run 260k. I like running 7. I don't run 8, and I don't run 9 ever. So yeah. What's up, Vikes? How you doing? All right, let's talk. You guys want to talk? Do you get more questions about hype currently before we move to blog questions? Because we can do a little more hype, and then we can move to the blog stuff. How the blog is going to look, where your info is going to come from. Doesn't it also matter where your feud is ranked to? No, not really. I don't mosh with Nico. It's completely based on your talent versus your opponent's talent. I think the reason you say that is because factions in the top 8 feud way more, right? So the top 10 feuding factions are all feuding way more than lower factions. How many do I run in feud? Depends on the feud. Depends if I'm doing CSS or not. I only run turn 1 winners that are 0 chance of cascade, and I don't run more than 7 almost ever. And sometimes I only run, I mean, when I'm doing CSS, I usually run the minimum. Unless they're all very good CSS, then I'll run 7. Yeah, Mac, I typically, 275 is my personal cutoff where I like to stay below. There have been times when, like, on the occasion when I do have a top lane, where I'll just kind of go ham. Once in a while just to see. But yeah, it gets really annoying, to be honest. And honestly, a lot of the big accounts really like doing like dick builds in feud. So you just have to pay a little bit more attention, watch your reversals, watch for MP down, that kind of stuff. In fact, there's some people that run big rosters and actually don't even start loaded. I'm not going to name names, but that's like the dumbest thing you can possibly do, is not start loaded when you could start turn 1. Slowing someone down doesn't help you. But that's up to them. They can feud how they want. For me, it's not a big deal. They're super easy to get around. And if you guys didn't know, when you go into a feud, if you start and they have MP down, if you force close it before attacking, force close the game, and go back in, you're still full life. You don't lose anything as long as you didn't attack. So that's also what props are for. And if you have a decent amount of props, you can use some props to MP up or MP down, or just use somebody where you don't have that disadvantage. Only works once? Well, you should only have to force close once, because then you know what they have, bug. No idea, Lux. Maybe, because that might be in bad taste. So that's a potential, Lux. Why would hype take away the speed factor in feuding? I don't no. To answer your question, no, I don't. I don't see how it would change speed being a factor to me. You only go second if your hype level's lower though. And if I go second, fair enough, Gumsy. How are you, buddy? If you go second, like, so if I know I'm gonna go second, I'm just gonna put MP down in, right? I'll just put two MP down coaches in. Boy, this prize wall is freaking amazing. Do targets, Zandel? Yeah, name them. I mean, like, I want the whole prize wall. Right, it's gonna be hard. Well, so that's my concern. My biggest concern, actually, is where they show the hype at. Hype needs to be shown in the pre-match screen. If you have to go in to find it all the time, that's going to suck. Because every person in feud, you're going to have to go in and look and try and find their hype. It needs to be in the pre-match screen. 1000%. Yeah, let's the blog stuff, and then we can talk about whatever you guys want. Because the blog stuff is where I expect the most pitchforks, and I really don't think it's a big deal personally. But that's me. I also have a different outlook on things than a lot of people. So let me get to the blog stuff. Where was the post? Which post? Which was the... I want to get the right post up here. Whatever, I don't need a post. We'll just do this. I'll just go to... All right. So, I think this should be right. All right, so blogs. The month-long blog is going to be very similar to what you see now. Yeah, I appreciate you, HD. Because there are the two things that the two big things about this was to help people assimilate to hype and also the blog, because people are having some meltdowns. Okay, so basically, to the best of my knowledge, the way I understand it, this is the whole. You guys know how a lot of times in the past the blog has been incredibly inaccurate. I'm assuming everybody knows what I'm talking about. To the point where I quit even doing them because they were inaccurate so much. The Ali one in particular. Yeah, right, McMenemy. So the problem in general has been communication flow. And that might sound like you have no idea what you mean. Yeah, right, Bacchus. And that might not sound like a big deal to you. But the way information goes through the team has been a problem. That is something they're rewiring, redoing, refocusing on. How information gets moved along the team so that it can be presented more accurately. So that's change one. And that's the most important thing. Yeah, Vikes, is they want information timely and out there. So that's change one. What they want the blog to be is impactful stuff. So what does that mean? The month-long contest blog should always be there. It should be very similar to what we see now. That no plans to any big changes to that. And I agree with that. The month-long is really good. That's the one blog that I actually think is important personally. You can kind of outlines it. They update that. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. That's good. That's a concern. That blog's going to be there. The others, what they really want to start using the blog for is you guys may notice a theme here. There's a lot of changes coming. It's not just hype. They're talking about new game modes and new daily tours and a bunch of different things. I feel like I feel like a lot of people are not doing a really good job reading between the lines. There's a lot of stuff coming to the game. Usually we got like nothing new. Like years in between new features, and we're getting hype. We're getting new game mode. From the little bit I know that I can't say stuff about, the new game mode is not going to be like other things we have now. And I'll just leave it at that. No, it's not going to, unless there's some kind of huge unforeseen problem, HD, it's going to be way sooner than we think. Just throwing that out there. So the game has really got a lot going on and it's changing rapidly. And honestly, we need new modes. We need new things to do. There's really no solo player experience to speak of, right? Like, like there's no, I mean, how many times have I said I want tours to be compelling, stuff to do? We don't get road tours. We don't get any of that kind of stuff. Like, and even if we do, there's not really, road tours just tend to be some resources and kind of boring. Yeah. The tours are very stagnant. So I think they're really trying to change that. And I can tell you from the little bit, and I don't know much that you guys don't, but the very little bit I do, it's very different stuff. And to me, it looks like really good stuff. So that stuff's all like coming. And they're trying to get the communications fixed from the ground up because thank God they realized there was a problem, because there has been a communications problem. And prior to this, nothing has ever been done about it. Right. So that's step one, is they want to rework communication. Okay. And they want the blog to be impactful. So it's going to be more updates on the stuff that's coming, more updates on the things that are working, less on, I mean, because let's be real, guys. The weekend event, what is there really to blog about? Seriously, it's a few CSS and it's a few milestones. But at the end of the day, unless you spend money, you don't get past the gold milestone anyway, unless you have a bunch of the CSS and a huge roster like me, and I know pretty much every event I'm going to get about 500,000 to 1 million points past the gold milestone free. It's almost always the same. It's different a little bit, plus or minus, depending on the event. But legitimately, I haven't looked at the blog. Bacchus posts it. I look at the CSS. That's it. And the weekend events like we have now are not going to have blogs. They are going to, that information isn't going away though. It's going to go into the Discord now. And the long-term plan is to get all that information into the game. Oh, you'll have upcoming events. You know it. This weekend is the event. That's your information. You have an event this weekend. It's Feud. You know about Feud. Most games don't tell you exactly what you need to get the required thing. Right? And do you really need Scopely to tell you get to the bronze or gold chest when you've done it for a year? Right. We already know the events for the whole month. That is absolutely true. At the start of the month, they tell you pretty much every event that's coming, but then we had some sneak in, right? Like no one knew how big this current event was going to be, 9 days. But what do you really need to know to play the game? I'm seriously, like, wouldn't that be the CSS? What's required? Like, don't we know the Flash Feud CSS like a week in advance, and every feud a week in advance? I mean, the weekend events are the big ones, surely, for the new characters. But what is it that you need to know that you don't know? Okay. And we usually get the blog for Showdown and Boss Battle on the weekend. And like I said, the CSS is just going to be moved from the blog to Discord. So won't you still have that exact same information? And like here, it's not, the information isn't going away, but it's not an extra step. It was a step to go to the blog. Instead of the blog, it's a step to go to the Discord. How is that an extra step? It's they both you had to use a step. It's just a different step than you're used to. It's not an extra one. You were taking one step, you're still taking one step. Let me get this up. Also, let me shut this off for 1 second. Let me move back here. All right, now let's pull this back up. All right. So, for example, what do we got? SummerSlam. Yeah, here's a bunch of showdown contests coming up and stuff, and all of that stuff. But I mean, like mostly, the important information isn't going away. It's just moving to the Discord, and eventually they hope to move it into the game because they'd rather you get it in the game. So, to me, that's a win. That'll be one less step. Right? I use Talent Up to level up CSS for feud and tours, but that could only be me. Sure. Now, tours for the month are usually posted. So if you go into the month-long blog, which will still be there. Oh, you go to the stream because you have trouble reading? Yeah, that's fair. And, I mean, like, if that's a thing, maybe I'll start doing, like, a weekly or daily what's going on in the game. And I can talk in the video about what's going to be required CSS-wise and stuff. If that's content people want to see, I can easily do that. It's not hard content to do. For example. So where are the showdown people listed? Discord. Yeah. For which showdown? I can do that, McMenemy. Pinned. There you go, buddy. It's pinned. Yeah, so let me go to the Discord. Hold on. All right. So on the Discord, in the WWE Champions official Discord, I'm going to a different one than the one I was on, because I was under the mod one. There's a tab called Champions Guide and Info. In that tab, there's a Guide to Mania tab and a contest calendar. The contest calendar lists upcoming stuff, and Do the Bird Showdown contest, faction 7:30 to 8:1. And let me pull this up. I might need to resize my screen though. Yeah, I was afraid of that. I'll do this a different way. I'll download it. Save. 1 second, kitty corn. Yeah, resave it. 1 second. There's my download button. It's not there. Go to the folder. It should be in this folder. My desktop's a mess. 1 second. Of course, it's not in that folder. Gosh, flipping dang it. Anyone send it to me on Discord? Great. No, I'll just do this. Hold on, never mind. I'll just do another window capture. It's fine. Everything's fine. Window capture. I'm gonna blind somebody. All right. There. Now let me resize this one. There you go. I'll make it bigger too, kitty corn. So I would suggest, if possible, it would be good to have everybody, every faction should have someone like Bacchus. There we go. Here's all your CSS for that showdown. HD, you're the man. Thank you. All right. I couldn't see chat for a minute while I was trying to get this sorted, so. Yeah. No. That's fair. That's fair. Also, can you read that one fairly okay, Kitty Corn? Where they have that on the black and white like that? Is that fairly easy to read? But yeah, I would also suggest, if you're a faction leader, having a room for this stuff. And like we have a Bacchus does it for our faction where he just Bacchus, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Where he just drops it in the faction chat, but the information isn't going to go away. And sadly not. Okay. Gotcha. So that's good. And eventually it'll make its way into the game, so it'll be even one less step. So that's the really good news. So that's the long-term, though, goal of it. It's not to give less information, it's just to streamline it so that they can just get it into the game in general. And really this week was just, there's a lot of stuff going on and bad timing in general. So, you know, rightfully so, people got upset because we want to know. Oh, yeah. Is there sarcasm in that statement? And SC? Oh, that's funny. I feel like that was some sarcasm. But yeah, there's your CSS. So in general, I can't read sarcasm font, but I feel like that was in sarcasm font. I love it. And people are really upset about the blog thing, and I don't think it's going to be as bad as everyone is afraid of. I don't think, you know, we're not going to have the information we need to play the game and stuff like that. So was it a missed boat on this current event that's going on? Absolutely. Yes. It came out of nowhere, this big one, and I don't think that was the intention. And I believe what I was told, and I was 100% told that was not the intention. So, and like I said at the start, they're taking steps to fix the communication from the very beginning, which has always been my problem with Scopely. And finally, they're working on that. So, yeah, eventually it'll all settle in. We'll all be fine, and it'll be okay. But they're not going to not tell us the CSS and things like that. Right? So that's the good news. Now, for some people who like to micro plan everything, maybe it won't be quite as good. And this would be my advice for you if you're one of those kind of people, right? So what I do and why I tend to not get so worked up about stuff anymore, I used to, for sure. One, I don't try to get every character. I mean, yeah, Nightmare, something like that, yes. Two, I don't spend early. Because even if I have blog information, there's been tons of times when it's not right. I prefer to spend Sunday after I've done all the tours and I know exactly where I'm at. If I'm going to spend. Because then I can figure out down to the dime what it's going to cost me to get what I want to spend, right? So I would highly recommend, if you're somebody that stresses really hard about that, to just take the stress out of the equation. I don't know. Chris Aru, that's a good question. The full hype detail, I don't know how much more, if anything, we're gonna get before it's live. I can tell you once it is live that it'll be a lot of content around it for me. I have no idea what the CC accounts are gonna look like. I wouldn't want everyone at max hype level on the CC account, so I don't know if that's even going to be something doable or possible. If it'll just be my own, you know what I mean? Like there's still so much we don't know. Which event, Bikes? Which event are we talking about? The current one going on? This one? This one? So that's going to depend on a ton of stuff, right? Fair enough, Bug. That depends on a ton of stuff. Like this showdown. So let's the gold chest, right? Let's go to the gold chest first. So right here, it's at 6 million. And the final's at 37 million, right? What is in showdown right now? That's the expectation for me, Chris. Yes. So your bracket reward is huge, right? If you finish first and get 4.5 million points, you're going to get a crap ton of bonus milestones. There's also another showdown coming, right? And if you look at what button do I click to see all of the rewards here? Where does it list all of them? Here it is. So like even if you finish top 10 in your bracket, you still get 2 million points. And there's 2 showdowns, so that's an easy 4 million bonus points. Those points are not counted typically, I can't say for sure, into getting the gold chest, right? So if you look at the gold chest is at 6 million, there's a lot more milestones between 6 and you add 4 more million more, you're getting all the way like here, right? Look at all that armory currency in that one. That's got 14,000. You know what I mean? Like, so typically it just depends how well you do on the events, right? So if you hit the 4 million twice, you get the pulls twice. For example, the pulls add a ton of points, 70,000. So what's 20 pulls times 70,000? Is that 1.4 million more? I think, right? 70 times 20. 1.4 million more, yeah. So on top of that, you get the other stuff. So you just get a lot of extra. If you do well in that event, we don't know what else. Everything that's a ton of stuff can. Oh, they're different pulls on that one. This one doesn't feed it. Oh, is it for the weekend one then? Is it for one that's not up? It's for the weekend event? Oh, that's cool. I kind of like that better. Sweet. It's for Coco himself then. Very cool. All right. Well, never mind on the coins. So that really doesn't matter then unless you get, you know, you get top 3, you're getting most of the points for that. So, yeah. Maxing this is a ton of tokens, Vikes. 5,000 is a lot. Bags average about 175 a piece. So if that's within your range, that's like getting 28 of the bags. So that, like, to me, I can get it by spending like 15 bucks. I'm going to spend that $15 for the prize wall currency. And I think, Zandel, if you're still here, you asked about the prize wall. This prize wall is ridiculous. I love the McCool gear. I love this plate. I love Punk's gauntlets. This is okay, whatever. It's a Trap is insane. These are both really good. JD Drip is really good. Botch Slapped is solid and cheap. This is such good pricing right here. And then pricing on moments, man. If you missed the Yokozuna one, I'll tell you what, this if you did not get this women's evolution moment, this moment is ridiculous on a ton of people that you'll use. This is a solid moment right here. Is the invasion one good? I don't remember. Then the new green regime one is here. You have to buy 4 tokens if you don't have any, but you can get that. Like, there's just a lot of really good shards. It's a really good prize wall. Like, yeah, this prize wall is dope. I wish I had like 100,000 currency. Like, I want a bunch of stuff. I want this. I don't think I actually need any of the shards, but I definitely want this moment because I don't have it. And I want this moment because I don't have it. Right? But I think I really want that because I don't have it. And I really want McCool gear. It adds 5 MP. 5 MP is good in this game. 5 MP is really good. So, and this plate is incredibly powerful. 500%. It's good on a ton of people. It's a really, really good prize wall. This is there's definitely good stuff in here, so it's one to me that's worth pushing for, in my opinion. But that's, you know, just my take on it. As far as what, and then the Coco is going to be in there as well if you don't get him this weekend. So there's that, and I don't know if his plate will make its way in here. I don't think it says on that, does it? And I don't think his plate's going to be in here, so I think that must just be the weekend. But yeah, it's a really good prize wall. Really solid event. I like that the showdown bracket thing seems to help a ton to me, though, in general. You got to end up better off than you would have normal. Is it true Woken gets first dibs on hype? What does that even mean? What's that, HD? Plates a stip tourney week? Are you serious? Dude, that's dope. Like they did the other one? Like with the top 100 getting it? What does that even mean, Mike? Oh, that's awesome, HD. That first time I cared about stip in frickin' forever, man. That's awesome. Just being bored, great video. What does that bruh? You don't even make sense. Alright, I'll just ignore him. Does the red reinforcement plate benefit Z Brett? I haven't either, Kitty Corn, but HD is way more in touch than I am, to be honest. It probably was posted somewhere. Yeah, it was in the blog. See, there you go. I don't read the blog. So, Brett. Zombie Brett? They probably put it in the month long. What? Yeah, what blog, first off? Yes, we still get blogs. In spite of what everyone thinks. Does he? What's up, Jam? DM you? No, no, no. We didn't say there were no more blogs. That's not what I said. Ah. All right, HD. Am I looking at the wrong Brett? I don't think he does red reinforce. Must be looking at the wrong Brett. That's the right Brett? Does he do reinforce? Hold on. I mean, too many questions, too small a brain. Oh, it's in the in-game mail. If you reading is fundamental. Thanks, HD. That's what I get for just skimming it. Is it in it wasn't in the Hogan one though, was it? It's in one I already deleted. Because I just skimmed it. Oh, no, no, no. Hold on. It's in the news tab. Right here. Imagine me reading the news that's actually in the game, which I might start doing. The new Frankie the Parrot skill plate. will be flying into a stipulation tour near you. Be on the lookout and try to catch him if you can. All right. So it's actually in the news tab on the game, which is kind of the best spot for it. Yeah, I feel like news is probably a good idea, Bacchus. Was in-game event breakdown, yeah. This is apparently pretty useful. But I think eventually they're going to bring most of the stuff into here. Do I think this will be the last Rip Mist in July? I have no idea. Yeah, it's gone. Yeah. So yeah, no, we're still getting blogs. We're going to get the monthly blog and stuff. We just don't. There's not going to be as many event blogs. That information is supposed to move to the Discord. So, yeah. But the month-long for the MLC should still be there and all of that. Yeah, Northern Mouth on the official channel. Yeah, fair enough. Exactly, Bacchus. Yeah. Okay. That Brett was the right Brett. Let me go back to Zombie Brett. What is he? That's the Juggernauts is not the one, so it's the other moveset. That's Leeches. Where does he make reinforced gems? I don't see any place he makes reinforced gems. Oh wait, the sub? I ignore subs. That would explain it. I mean, sure, but you'd probably be better off using the sub plate. Yeah. Is there not a 200% red sub plate? They usually last more turns. I probably don't even have it. I don't pay attention to subplates. It's a zombie one? Okay. Yeah. So do you have the Hitman's jacket? How many turns does the reinforce last? No, it won't work on a sub. The reinforced plate won't work on a sub. Only in boss. So the reinforced plate will only work in boss on a sub. It won't work out of boss. Only in boss. Yeah, Shobo KO would be Shobo KO, Vader, and Seth. Freaking Rollins are probably about it for Red Reinforce Ultimate? Question mark? I think so. Trying to think. Definitely Vader. It's nasty on Vader. That would be my favorite spot for it. Do you have Striker Brett? It's really easy with Striker Brett. You can do it with Brett at like no strap, 6-star bronze, no problem. Just run it this way. You won't even need props, most likely. I don't know what you have trainer-wise. Let me know if you can or can't run this. Vikes. Also, any more questions on blog hype, feel free to ask. No Ray? Alright, let's get rid of Ray. You got Alexa? Alright, let's do this then. I think we can win propless this way unless we get bad luck. Which is possible. Bring a black up prop just in case. Nothing would be subject to change unless they posted it in Discord ahead of time. which is kind of nice. Don't have to worry about it and get all worked up. Which I think maybe is what people's bigger concern is, to be honest. Fair enough, kitty corn. I should probably have recorded this. This would probably make a decent video. Actually. Usually if somebody's struggling with it, multiple people are. But the showdown's almost over, so it's not really worth it now. So the nice thing too is the pin bar wiggles while you're going. Then the green ends up being loaded. You can do a 5 match here. And 1, 2. The counting is hard. Sure, let's do this. Yeah, and the information's all still going to be there. The important stuff, like the CSS, it's just not going to be in the blog. And you can swipe. So you can see it's actually pretty easy this way, Vikes. No strap needed. We didn't even use Ray. So pretty easy that way. No problem, buddy. I got you, fam. I don't care and we'll do what you tell me. Fair knife, Cumsy. I'll tell you a bunch about hype when it gets there. But for now, you know, there's so much we don't know. But yeah, Sean, the monthly blog is still going to be there. You should have paid attention. I mean, it's just super easy. I'll show you. Subs are fine for tours. Actually, they're quite useful for tours, especially autoing tours. Just this moveset. Crucifix Bomb, Pendulum Backbreaker, Seated Rear Chinlock. If you don't have MOD Taker, you're going to lose a little bit more power gem damage. Just use whatever black MP you want. If you have Turtle Ray, it's even easier. Vikes, Dunator's awesome. Dunator is freaking awesome. Congrats. You don't have moment coins, Kitty Corn? So, actually, that's... do you feud much? I get, like, so many duplicate moments out of the Chest of Disappointment. Are you serious, Vikes? Really? Damn. I have... You feud a whole bunch? I have, like, 2.24 million of those things. I can't give them away. Devon's a CSS all the time. He's also super good. Devon's ridiculously good if you have the right stuff. You got to 500 mil last feud? Oh, awesome. That is feuding. Good job. Huh. How's what possible? So, Kitty Corn, what I would do on prize walls is every moment, a full moment, has the same value. So look for ones like this that you already have when you have leftover currency, right? So don't use it when you could get something good, for sure. But when you have leftover moment currency, grab a moment like this and it'll convert to moment tokens. A duplicate that's cheapish. So find whatever the cheapest moment you can on a weekend prize wall and buy it to convert over to, I think, what does one convert for? Is it like 25,000 moment coins? Really? You too, IK? Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, just buy the cheap moment tokens. Yeah, armory pulls. 28k. Thank you, Northern Mouth. Yeah, so each duplicate moment token is worth 28,000 moment coins. So, yeah, prize walls when you don't have anything better to get is a good one. And then, yeah, you might want to do the moment loot as well. Ah, okay. Yeah, also, yeah, don't upgrade, like, there's a ton of really crappy moments. So don't upgrade, like, the tour ones. And most of the showdown ones are bad, too. Let me make sure I haven't missed anything. Check my Discord. What's up, Restate? How you doing, bud? You just hoard and never spend? I do hoard a lot. You're not wrong, Gumsy. I do hoard a lot. Hope you're doing well, Restate. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't realize people were struggling with the moment coins, actually. August MLC? August. What do we think August is going to be? Is that SummerSlam then? Usually? Is this month SummerSlam? I'm not even... You think I pay attention to that? It is SummerSlam, so it won't be SummerSlam. What's the next big PLE after SummerSlam? When is Money in the Bank? You know, we just had that recently. So Survivor. Okay, Survivor Series in November, so we won't have that in August. October's probably zombies. Oh, we might get a weird theme in August. I don't know that they said when the Hall of Fame. Dude, Street Fighter crossover would be dope. Super dope. Next week SummerSlam, then Clash in Paris. Yeah. Come see. Oh my gosh. Probably not. Probably not. You guys want to see me do some showdown matches or not really? Showboat Ali incoming. I love my fighters. I don't know what they'll do with Zombie Hogan, to be honest, though, guys, because I don't think we've ever had a zombie character pass. So I don't know what will happen with that. Also, I'm not sure how much longer I'll stream, just as a heads up. Also, do you guys know how showdown scoring works, like with points very well? Yes, no, maybe. So the farther, when you get a far spread like this, you can get more points. But there is a limit. So, like, he's more than 2k bigger. That should give me like 450, 60 points-ish. He can have all the MP reduction he wants. It doesn't matter. So this is a super armored Jacob. Ghostbuster. Yeah, I'm also missing Ghostbuster Hogan. I'm like 600 shards away eternally. No, there are none jail niners. So I don't know what they'll do with that, to be honest. It doesn't bother me if it's like, you know, personally Derek, but I don't know. Sometimes people have feelings about all that, so I don't know. Yeah, 456. So if you can find big gaps in notoriety, you can gain a decent amount with max promoters. So I don't know if everyone's familiar with that. You saw F4 today? Was it good? Awesome. Okay. I'll have to put it on the list. Put it on the list. So now we want to try and find another big gap if we can. 14.4 is okay-ish. Why, Pisces? Why? I'd love to hear your reasoning, please. Absolutely, Destroyer. Sammy is the least worrisome card to use in Feud, probably. Like, you just don't have to worry about anything. I'm trying to, I want to use the right words, Restate. I'm looking forward to it, I think is the proper way of phrasing it. I have some, obviously, like, concerns not knowing what it's all going to be, but I'm very much looking forward to it, along with the other stuff going along with it. Why? How does that honor Hulk Hogan, by the way? How does you getting every card of Hogan honor Hulk Hogan? I'm just curious. Personally, I think a better way of honoring someone is talking about the good things they did in life. Well, maybe not in this case. That's not an option, though. So, you know, talking about what he meant to you as a wrestler, perhaps? That sort of thing. I'll tell you right now, one of the things I cannot stand the most in this game is when a superstar passes. Everybody thinks they should get them for free. That actually is kind of disgusting. Yeah, I'm sure he did some good. He was a heck of a good wrestler and made a huge impact on the sport. No question. He changed the landscape of, he made wrestling like him and Vince, you know. They did what they did and changed the game completely. He was, to me, far more of a wrestling trailblazer than Ric Flair, for example. Right? I mean, in the sense that he moved the needle in a way I don't think other people really did. So I think that's a better way of honoring somebody, to be honest, than asking for free stuff. But that's just me. Yeah, for sure. I agree. I think if the whole WrestleMania gamble doesn't work, is wrestling even look like this? You know? Yeah. So the fact that Santa goes out, NW Hogan goes out, and then you get Hall of Fame Hogan. Yeah, that's pretty dang good. So, yes, David. I understand Destroyer is. Yeah, Hogan in real life, right. He correct. He was definitely, I guess for lack of a better term, like a force of nature, right? I mean, like, That whole, the whole, I mean, who didn't growing up, see the commercials, the eat your vitamins, say your prayers. What does my leaderboard look like? Last I looked pretty good. I'll show you in a second, Restate. Let me finish this match. Yeah, we don't care about this. He can't hot tag. We're good. Correct. Yes, for sure. Absolutely. I agree. That WrestleMania, Hogan, the whole spectacle of it basically changed the entire outlook. Yeah, that's not to mention like the NWO turn and stuff. That was huge, right? Like he did a lot of stuff in the ring. Phenomenal. Alvin Goldberg's super good. He was as a person. Agree completely, Gumsy. Zero respect for him as a person. This Goldberg had like 300 million health, by the way. That Goldberg had like 300 million health. No, I think they should just run with what they were gonna do anyway, Mosh with Nico. Personally. I mean, like, everybody needs Santa Hogan tokens, right? So, someone wanted to see my bracket. Everybody needs Santa Hogan tokens, so I just run it what they were gonna do. Right here, Restate. I think it's Restate S. Oh, Health Steal HD. All the way to Health Steal. It's smexy. Yeah, I'll probably I need like 15 energy to max for the 5,000 tokens, so I'm gonna buy 15 energy anyway. And actually, yeah, that it maxes me exactly if I win them all. Actually, I'll just buy the 12 and the 5, so I'll have 17 energy. Hey, Telvin, how are you? Well, we just had Ozzy for free would be my guess why, and I mean, so yeah. No, no having it. Sorry. Is that you, David? I'm sorry you're in my bracket, bud. This one unfortunately is. Is that you? I'm sorry, David, just ahead of time. This one it sorry, bud. I always feel bad about it. I always look to see if I have anyone in my faction in it either as well. Or anyone I know. And I do feel bad about when I know people. He's in my faction. I think he just I'm not going for it though. I kind of want the loot coins for the Coco loot though. Yeah, you look like you did really good so far, really well. I switched over for a little while to coin dudes because I really want to max this because I have all the CSS. Because there's 5k in here. If this 5k wasn't in here, you probably would have been fine, but yeah, I like it. The tour thing can be fun. So yeah, I really want this 5k currency. I saw that Restate. That's okay. This MLC for you is tough. This one, last one was harder for me by far, I think. And the Austin one before that was even harder. There's still another week to go on this one too. So yeah, usually 5-weekers are easier for me by far. You're like 9k out of stack. Nice, Lux. You got it locked down. It is kind of cool though. The brackets have made Showdown interesting, right? Like, I actually care about Showdown way more again. Oh, what am I even from my Santa Hogan? I don't even know. For sure, Sean, for sure. Oh, Sammy feud build. Yeah, I got you, Destroyer. I like to 2-click him because then you don't need to worry about anything. It doesn't hit as hard as it could. Obviously, it's just this. And no plates that I use work with this. You can always, if it doesn't hit as hard as you'd like, you can always Blue Royal Rumble it. But it's just these two moves. This is how I run it. And then I do have the moment. So the moment is adding. And I do have a 150 strap. This only works if you need to use the MP up or you want to double up. So the reason Sammy is so good is there is nothing you have to worry about for a reversal. Unless someone has a Juggernaut reversal, maybe somebody does. I can't think of it right off if they do. But Sammy this way is completely, you just fight anybody and it doesn't matter. Because you're not using MP increase, you're not using, the gem damage comes off of the jugs on the finisher. So literally you just, why am I short MP? I have the wrong trainer on. It's supposed to be Kofi. Let me redo this. It's supposed to be Kofi, not Lawler. My bad. I don't know how to play the game. My bad, dog. It's supposed to be Kofi. So it's just 2 clicks. It's supposed to be Kofi. I had the wrong one on. That's my bad. But it hits really hard, and it's just the 2 moves, and you don't have to worry about any reversals. Just use Kofi instead of Lawler. So you're loaded. Yeah, his max ability is 35k. It's ridiculous. It's insane. The best coach in the game. Maybe the best trainer coach period in the game altogether? Question mark? I don't know. That's a close one. Let me do this right for you. Put the right trainer on. I'm sorry. But yeah, he's the most, the least, you don't have to worry about anything. You just fight everybody. You don't worry about reversals, so it's very handy. And then you can check out the bleed build I just did. Super easy to run bleed build. You can do 100 million unblockable bleed with no strap. It's 3 clicks though, but still, it's insane. I posted that one like 2 days ago. But this is how I run them for feud because it's efficient and fast and safe. And it's like 85, 80 mil. And if you need to, you may notice you can put the jugs out twice. So if for some reason you get in there and they're like, oh, they have 120 million health, then you can use the MP up and put the jugs out twice if you need to. Right? So that's how I run them, and then you have the safety of putting the jugs out twice, and then you're hitting for like 130, 140 million usually. So that's how I like to run them. I've seen it a couple times, not since Hot Tag first came out. Ministry Taker is multiply gems now. I don't know how old the Taker video, the last one I did, was. But you're going to use these 2 moves or this move, depending on how you want to run him. Who's that? Sammy? DK Cena will probably be my first hype guy because of how much I use him in Showdown. Maybe. Nah, he's in the 2nd slot. I don't know. I have to think about it. So I run this way. You don't have NOD Rock, then you use Gunther, potentially, or Sherry and Santa. Sherry and Santa is probably the next best, actually. So Sherry, Santa, if you don't have these 2. You definitely want Steamboat. And then the strap is just gem damage with the Nightmare. And the new Ministry Ultimate if you have it. Moments, he hits even harder in feud. Multiply gems by 4. And then the beer bath moment is huge, though, for him because it's 200%. Sherry's really good. So that's Taker. DDP I don't run. And if you have his MP gear, he's way better. But I don't run DDP ever, except for when he's required. So for that, for this showdown, I use the Hall of Fame link and all of the power gem trainers in random triple yellow. With power gems. But I don't run him outside of requirements. But when I do run him, I run him power gems. So there's also a boost for attitude with gem damage, David. My silver Taker that way hit for 100 million. I won. It took 1 or 2 matches, 2 matches I think, to do all of his damage tasks in this showdown. That's the other thing, guys. When Showdown shows up, make sure and look at the boosts. These boosts count similar to boss boosts. Tech Rock any good? Nah, he's a great trainer. He's trash in my opinion. Because you have to use a sub. He can hit hard off of a sub, but that's not gameplay you want to be playing. These boosts work like boss boosts. No, he doesn't even remotely make my top 5 strikers. Hall of Fame Ron can win with 1 click. Uso can win with 2 clicks. Striker Austin can win with 2 clicks. Dominic Mysterio can win with 2 clicks. OTC can win with 2 clicks. There's like Hall of Fame DDP is not that good compared to the others. He can win, but he's not as fast as any of them. Braun Breaker can too. Yeah, absolutely. He can hit pretty hard. Sammy with the green plate can hit really hard. There's other ways to play him too. Yeah. Acropunk with gear. I like the unblockable personally. With the color turn peoples. Right? So yellow MP, Shamrock goes up to 150%. This is my account, yes, sir. Uso adds a ton, though. If you don't have Uso, then maybe not. Hall of Fame Brett goes up to 100% as well. If you have the gear, then you can also just use this. So that with the gear, Kofi without the gear. That's how I typically run him. Is Powerhouse Hogan good? Plates, he doesn't need any. He will win without them. But these 2 plates, if you want to hit extra hard. I think with everything in the plates, isn't he hit like 100, 150 mil or something stupid? Hogan's ridiculous if you have his stuff. Gear moment in particular. Hall of Fame Ron's insane. What are we talking about here? Who's I just talking about being insane? Forget. Oh, Hogan. No, always grinding. I have 0 attachment to Hogan whatsoever. Based on his actions post wrestling. So sad is certainly a word I would never use, even kind of. Also, growing up, my favorite was Rocker Sean, and then my second favorite was Ultimate Warrior, mainly because Warrior was excited, and it made me excited, even though I had no idea why we were excited. That's no, I don't use plates on Hogan. What's up, Shucky Ducky Quack Quack? How are you, Ducky Schultz? Very different without the gear, I would say. Also very different without the moment. You can still make him work for sure, or you just use plates instead. I've never ran him any other way, to be honest. And I think the moment's probably more impactful, to be honest, Destroyer. The Ali moment, which is, I think, one of the harder ones to actually have, because it generates extra gems, and your multiply gem and your gem damage is 100%. So I think okay, you got the Ali moment, but no gear. So you need to get to 9 yellow. So you just trade this for Braun Breaker, right? And then that's fine. You can run it like this. And you may end up using a plate, and then you could also turn this to a gem generate. But probably turn this to a gem generate. I would, like any zombie with 3. It's probably what I would do. But let's see. You might be able to get away without plates. Actually, now that I think about it. Let's throw a zombie on there and I'll run one for you. It doesn't matter. Pick your one. I mean, red, ideally 3 in red is the best, but any of them are fine. But, you know, you're just going to miss out on that 40% rainbow gem damage from Austin, but it'll still hit super hard this way. And as you can see, it's ridiculously fast. That was a nice break. So it hit for 55 that way. So you'll probably... The other thing, though, you see it hit for 55, but we did 67 million damage. The weird thing about Hogan is the damage it shows is never accurate. It's always way more. So it showed 57, but Steiner has like 60-some million health. It never tracks the damage right, so you don't actually know how hard you're hitting. I would imagine that was about 70, but I don't know for sure. And that's the weird thing about Hogan. But you can use any gem chucker. What's up, Eagles? And he'll hit hard. Any gem chucker is fine. And so like whatever the sheriff's badge, and then in the primary one put like break yellow get red or something, or break red get yellow, whatever, something to go with sheriff's badge. But Royal Rumble would probably work best. Any Royal Rumble, red would be best because it's his primary. But I would try it without plates first and see if it works for you, because it probably will. I mean, this one's ridiculous. It was a huge cascade. We hit for 120 million there with the huge cascade. So people will want to do the multiply thing where he hulks up. He can hit way harder that way, but the Hulk up animation is slow AF. It's not worth it. He doesn't need it. Plus, then you worry about reversals and stuff with the buff and with the multiply. That's just the faster, easiest way to run him. He's super good that way. So yeah. Let me double check Discord. I think I'll probably call that a stream. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll call that a stream. Oh, you're very welcome, Destroyer. You're very welcome. So yeah, hype's coming next week. Let's do it. Night, right on, Vikes. Right on. Like I said, I'll try and put out a bunch of content. I don't know what options I'll have on the CC account. So I may just be able to give initial thoughts or that kind of thing. And if anything else comes out about hype before then, I'll try and make a video on it. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys. I hope you guys have a good weekend and enjoy the boss battles in your weekends, and, you know, eat some good food, enjoy life, and all of that stuff. Yeah, and it'll all be okay. It'll all work out fine. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. I appreciate it. Take care.